So, good morning.
Good morning.
Um, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm Patrick Musili.
Yes.
Yes, maybe your names.
My name is Evangelist Nancy Kolomani.
Okay,
Yes.
Evangelist Nancy Kolomani.
Yes.
Yes, now at least I'm familiar with the name.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the name. I like social media and I've seen the name so many times as I have been following your channels and especially the social media. Mostly the Facebook channel. Yeah, that is the your Facebook account. I like a blog which you run anyway. It's the one I followed a lot. I've also seen you in YouTube because I'm a YouTuber, and there are so many times when I'm at YouTube I've met with you in interviews in different forums, and one thing I've liked is how fluid you are. How you have an open heart, I may say, yeah. So maybe I can say I'm happy and I feel privileged to meet you here today, and because I've seen you many times in YouTube, in Facebook, your Facebook blog, account blog. Maybe today I come here so that you can also tell me at least face to face your story. Choose a story which will tell me. Yeah, and I will appreciate, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Nancy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me start with where I come from, how I was brought up and everything. So, I was born in Kakamega.
Yeah.
And I'm a firstborn in a family of 4.
Okay.
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
Yeah.
And my parents are Christians.
Yes.
So
just like mine.
Yeah. If you have Christian parents, they make sure you are brought up in that line.
Yes.
True. Mrama.
True.
Whether you like it or not,
I have a testimony with that.
Amen. And it's great because it helps us grow. Even when we tukienda astray hapa katikati, hiyo bado inakukumbushanga uko mbele, you need to go back on track. You're a Christian. And the smart, they keep on checking. They check on you completely. Yes. So I thank God for that. I thank God for my parents kwa sababu ya kuniraise hivyo venye waliniraise. So I would like to focus more on my previous marriage. Okay, I was married severally. Before now, I got married in the marriage I am right now. Okay. But in the very last marriage I was in, before the marriage I'm in right now, I was in a very abusive marriage. Okay. And that man made me go through hell on earth. But again, I thank God for that moment because I think I was in a class and God was teaching me something. Okay, I always look at everything that happens to me positive. Tunazitanga mapito. Mapito. Na ni mapito kwa sababu unapita ukiendaga. You don't stay there. So I thank God for what I went through because nowadays I sit and I tell God, in as much as everything happened the way it did, I think it was because of what I do today. Because if maybe it didn't happen the way it happened, no one would have known Nancy right now. Sure. No one would have known including me. Myself. Yeah. Yes. So God has His own way of making people come out to speak about something. Yes, and making things happen. Yeah, and making things happen. Yeah. So that marriage was a very abusive marriage, and I went through both physical abuse and emotional abuse at the same time. So my ex-husband then was very promiscuous. He would just pass and sleep with anyone in a skirt. Wow. And because of the kind of situation I was in at that time, I didn't want to question him because I was afraid that if I question him, he's going to chase me away, and if he chases me away, then I will have nowhere to go to. And I didn't want also to be called a woman who has no husband. There's like a title that counts when you're married. I understand. It is the African, mostly the African
culture.
Yeah.
Sometimes it ties us.
Yeah, it ties us somewhere,
Yes.
especially in marriages. So you
Yes.
don't want to separate yourself from your wife or your husband because you're afraid of what people will say.
Yes.
And you end up staying in a marriage that you keep on suffering.
Yes.
And in silence, because you can't tell anyone. You want people to think or know that you're happy when you're really not happy. So me, it got to a point I got tired and I said, me, this one I'm not going to stay. Me, I'm walking out.
Yes.
So I decided and I moved out. And when I moved out, now I stayed for a long time without someone. But now I went in a certain church.
Yes.
And I began now getting my life back to Christ now fully.
Amen.
And in that church now, they started now teaching us now how you can pray for the kind of a spouse you wanted.
Yes.
And I was like,
and you're talking of it as if it is a long time ago.
It is actually how many years ago? Wow.
You look younger
10 years ago.
You look younger than
Oh no.
than how you are describing it.
No. It's actually 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. It's no, my last born then was 7 years, 8 years. It was 8 years. So we had separated when my baby was 3 years old. Right now he is 10. So that's about 7 years ago.
7 years ago, okay.
So it's still a long time.
It's
It's a long time.
It's almost what? A century? what do you call it? This is a decade. That's what
Just call it a century.
It's a decade.
It is fun now.
Yeah.
So after I had separated with him, now I decided after everything that I had gone through, remember I mentioned when I began I had been married severally.
Yes, you did.
And I broke from the marriages, and from each marriage I came with a child.
Yeah.
So in every marriage I was coming out with a child.
Yeah.
And it was very frustrating because it hit a point and I was thinking, maybe I'm the one with the problem.
Sometimes
you can't be just walking out of one marriage into another. There must be a problem with you. So nilikaa nikasema mimi ndio niko na shida. But I've now decided let me just focus more on Christ. Kind of church. So now they started teaching me on. Okay, they taught us ladies who are single on the kind of a the kind of a spouse you would pray for if you wanted. And I was like, so I can pray for my husband. I still have a chance. Wow. Let me pray for the kind of a man I want.
Yes.
And I started praying for that kind of a man I wanted. And I was very specific on the kind of a man I wanted. And because nilikuwa nishaolewa na guys who are 5 years older than me, I felt like they were young. And maybe that is why they were behaving the way they did. So me, I was like, I wanted now to get married to an older person. Yes. And I was like, me, if I'm to get married again, I'll get married to a man who is at least 15 years older than me. That is not the kind of a man I wanted to get married to. According to me, I was thinking this kind of a man will not beat me. Because me, sikuwa nataka kuchapwa tena. I had been beaten, mpaka ile I'm like, I don't want to get beaten again. So if I'm to get married, I'll get married to a man who will not beat me. And this kind of a man is an older man who will look at me as a child. That is what I was thinking at that time. Yeah. And so I began praying for that kind of a man. And God gave me that kind of a person.
Amen.
And I really thanked God for him.
Yes.
But then I thank God for my husband.
Yeah.
And when we got married, now we stayed. He was coming from a broken marriage himself, and I was also coming from a broken marriage myself. So we were like, then we fit. We are good for each other. So we never thought about so many things like
so sio bure nimeangalia nikaona in your social media blog, your Facebook. Most of it is like those guys from a broken marriage to another and another one and then or those who are searching for the same, maybe it is the same inspiration.
I think it's the same inspiration for the ones who have had my story.
Yeah.
So where was I?
So
what was I saying?
You are at the point where you are looking for
I had met my husband.
Your husband?
And I said I thank God for him. So now we got married, and because all of us were from broken marriages, hatukuona importance ya vitu mingi. Like even VCT never was not even an option in our heads. We never even thought about that. Because according to me, I was married. I was someone's wife, and him, he was someone's husband. So HIV natoka wapi hapo? Okay, we never thought about it completely. It was not in our minds. So we got married. And after that, now we stayed for 2 years, and I wasn't getting pregnant. And I was wondering, when I don't want a child, the baby comes. And now when I want a baby, the baby does not come. Surely, what is this? And I said, I will still go back to the same God I talked to when I wanted a husband. And he will give me a child. So I said, it's been 2 years. I don't have a child. What is this? So I went and I made a prayer again, and I told God, hey God, me, I really want a child. And me, I learned to talk to my father like I'm talking to my biological dad. So I'll go lock myself in the room, and I tell my father, hey, come here, we need to talk.
We need a dialogue.
Yes. What is this? You said that we talk. You told me to come so that we can reason together. Now you come, we reason. I want a baby, and the baby is not coming. The others have been coming, and I never requested for them. Now me, I want a child, it is not coming. What is the problem? And I said, oh God, if you give me a child right now, I will make sure I return this baby for you. This baby will serve you. And I told God, me, I want a girl. I want a daughter.
Yes.
I don't want
the others are boys?
No, I have the others are girls. I can have girls and boys, but then I only had one girl and I had 2 boys. And so I was telling God, me, I just want a daughter. Give me a baby girl. And if you give me a baby girl, I will make sure this baby serves you for the rest of her life. So that is the prayer I made. It was like a covenant. And I sealed it with an offering. So after that, now I came and I got pregnant. Hey, say my excitement. And I was like, so this God answers. He answered about the husband. I got a husband. Exactly what I asked for.
I like it too.
And now I have a child.
Yes.
And I just found out I'm pregnant. It was 5 weeks pregnant. I was 5 weeks pregnant, and I'm already knowing it's a girl. And I'm like, you're pregnant? The doctor told me you're pregnant. That on her, it's a girl. I know it's a girl.
You're the one telling the daughter.
I'm not telling the daughter. And she's looking at me and she's like, you're only 5 weeks pregnant. You can't know the sex of a child. I told her, I don't need you to confirm with an ultrasound. I already know it's a girl.
Wow.
She looked at me.
Such faith.
It's just sometimes doctors look at you and they're like, this one is just crazy. So I left and I came back home. So when I came back home, I was like, the doctor confirmed I'm pregnant. I need to start my clinic. So I waited for my husband. I told my husband, the doctor told me I'm pregnant and I want to start my clinic right now.
Yes.
And it was like, but you're 5 weeks pregnant. Don't you think ni mapema sana? Ngoja uanze iboli ikiwa hata na 6 months. It's too early. Then I said, my last born right now is 8 years old. So me, I've forgotten everything about babies and pregnancies. And maybe things have changed. Let me just start my clinic early so that I can walk this journey with the doctor. And he was like, if that's what you want, you're the one who's pregnant.
Just go.
You go. You go and start. So I started my clinic, and I remember that day when I was going for the clinic. Okay, the doctor did all the tests on me, and she was not bringing my results. Everyone that had come before me, I had seen them leave the hospital, and I was still seated there. I was with my girl. I have a daughter, though not biological. So I was with her at the hospital, and as I was waiting, I felt like this is taking too long. So I went in and I asked the doctor, where results zangu ziko wapi? Why are they not coming? She's like, hata nilikuwa nakukujia. Okay, now I'm here. And I'm like, okay, sit. Then akatoa the results. And now she's like, okay, the results are here. Easy tests zako ziko sawa, your blood group, they are fine. But there's a problem. And I'm like, okay, what problem? Ati easy results zako za HIV ziko reactive. And I'm asking her, okay, what's that? Then she tells me, I think this HIV result of yours has a problem. Nikamwambia, you fix it. I mean, you're the doctor. So why are you telling me it has a problem? You are the doctor. Why can't you fix it? Me, I want to go. I want to go back home. I'm tired. Then she looked at me in a way that made me ask like, oh, I'm positive. Unatry kuniambia niko na HIV? Then she told me, no, you know, easy results, like, za mwisho, you can go and do a confirmatory test and confirm the results. And I'm like, hizi results zingine zote zimefanyiwa kwa hiyo lab yenu? Zizo ziko sawa. Sasa ya HIV ndo nafaa kwenda kuconfirm. Then I stood up and I just stormed out. And then she followed me with her card. Hata sikumbuki vitu zenye alikuwa ananiongelesha mimi. So she gave me the card, I took it and I went out. I went and grabbed my daughter's hand and then tukaanza kuenda. So tukienda, you know me, in my head I'm still thinking, daktari ameniambia nini? All this time I was looking at her, nilikuwa nangoja aseme I'm confused. Hizo results but hapo anasema kitu kaa hiyo. So I was like, maybe atenda angalia hiyo results tena anipigie simu aniambie ziko wrong. So there was so much in my mind, but again I was thinking, you see, my husband must have infected me. I'm thinking, you mean this guy, now I'm running away from younger guys, I'm going into an older person who is positive and not even telling me, what kind of thing is this? So I'm in my heart, I feel like I need to burst and cry, but now I'm afraid. I don't want to do it before my daughter. I don't want to do it again before people. I want to do it alone in my room where no one is seeing. But sasa nikienda ikakuwa too much, nikashindwa kuihold. So I just stopped and I told my girl, Norami, I just want to hug you kwa barabara. So akasema, okay. So I hugged her. Na nikalia. Wewe leo unaliaga kama mtoto.
Alikuwa mkubwa?
No, she was 13 years.
13 years old.
Yeah, she was 13 years old. So nikamhug and I busted. I cried. And ilikuwa kwa barabara, so people were passing. And now they are wondering what is happening. And now Hash is like, Mom, what is it? Mbona unalia? Mtoto ako sawa? I'm like, mtoto ako sawa. But daktari ameniambia nini? Amekwambia aje? Then I gave her the card. Then I gave her the card. No, my mind, I'm thinking she's just an older person who will understand. I'm not thinking like she's a child. I'm just out of my mind. I'm not there. So nikampatia clinic card, nikamwambia ndio hii daktari anasema. And she looks at it and like, saying nini? Okay, hata I understand. Nikamuonyesha hiyo place ya HIV imeandikwa reactive imetikia. And she's like, you see imeandikwa reactive. Nikamwambia daktari anasema niko na HIV. And then she's like, Mom, na unalia. Mama acha kuniembarrass. Kwa klasi yetu kuna watu tunasoma nao na walizaliwa nayo. Na hawaliani.
Kanajua that age.
Imagine. Na hawaliani na wewe unalia, mom pia wewe kwa ni serious. And I felt stupid. And I think God was using her at that time to encourage me at that time. Because kama pia angeanza kulia, I don't know what would have happened to the both of us. So God alikuwa anamuse at that time. So nika feel encouraged, nikapanguza machozi, nikasema yenyewe kama kuna watoto walizaliwa nao na wako na class na waliangi, mimi nalia nini na vile mkubwa. I get over this. But sasa mind ikaanza, now this man, huyu jamaa akitoka kazini nitadeal na yeye. Na mngojea. So nikafika kwa nyumba.
Why were you not suspecting the previous one?
I was not suspecting the previous marriage because I stayed with this guy for 2 years already. So in these 2 years, of course, we've been intimate.
Sure.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, lazima ni huyu jamaa.
But you had not taken another test before.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, hakuna venye naweza kuwa nilikaa na virus hizo siku zote. Unaona, in my mind, siwezi kuwa nilikaa na virus hizo siku zote bila kujua. Mbona hapana, it must be this one. So that night, nikafika kwa hao, nikajilock bedroom. And I went and I remember I took my Bible and I prayed and I told God, give me the strength to just handle this issue. Because I don't know how to handle it. Just give me the strength. Because this man, if it is just me to handle it on my own, nitampiga. Nitamtandika vizuri. So, nikamwambia God, if it is me and my strength, hey, I will beat up this man. You just give me the grace to handle it. Give me the wisdom. So, after that, now I took the card that the doctor gave me, nikamcall. Nikamwambia, now I've calmed down. Uliniambia niko na HIV. Na unajua niko na mimba. Does that mean that my baby is also positive? Right at that time, I don't know anything about HIV.
Yes.
Mimi, the normal Nancy, I used to know anyone who is positive is very contagious. No. Hata ukimsalimia itakushika. That is what I used to
right almost at that time. Such a status was being held like
watu wanakuona ni kama
wanakuona hata wewe unaanza kujisikia sijui niseme outcast, yani unajisikia you don't
fit in that place.
You don't fit
so me I'm like, what happens now that I'm pregnant? Kuna venye mtoto wangu already akona amekuwa infected ama is there a way we can save my child? Then the doctor tells me there's a way we can save your child. And I'm like, really? What is it? Akaniambia, we enda VCT center, then they will tell you everything from there.
Sure.
As soon as you can, so that you can save your child. But first, make sure you come to the hospital with your husband, tumpime, tujue kama yeye pia ako positive, ndio tujue venye tutawasaidia. Mimi unajua kenye nilikuwa nataka kusikia sana, ni venye kama kuna a way my baby can be safe. That is what I really wanted. So nikangojea my husband.
Remember, it was a covenant, or rather, it's a covenant you've made with God.
With God.
Give me this child,
and I will give this child to you. So hakuna wenye God atallow kutoka.
Hautaki your covenant
yaribike. So I'm like, and but then that kept on coming in my head. I was telling myself, I asked God for this child, and nothing will happen to me.
Yes.
So that night my husband comes and niko hapo nime fake smile and unaenda clinic nilienda clinic nikapimwa na but sasa siku hizi kumbe unajua my husband also has kids from his previous marriage and I'm like na watoto wake pia ni wakubwa si ati ni wadogo kama unajua hata wewe upata mtoto wa mwisho kitambo sana siku hizi vitu zimechange. Wanasema mama akiwa na mimba kama ameolewa unaenda na nani? Na bwanako.
Hautaki kumwambia
direct unaenda na bwanako clinic.
It's wisdom.
At least mpimo nyinyi wote waangalie conditions zenyu venye ziko kama ndio wajue venye mtoto wenu atakuwa. Now with all that akaniangalia lakini you people are you even serious? Mimi niache tu kwenda job. Niende hospitali na sina mimba. You're the one who is pregnant. People are not making sense.
Was making fun out of it.
And I'm like, lazima uende at least ndo mimi nianze kupewa dawa za clinic. Unajua siwezi pewa dawa kama akaniambia hapana wewe enda mbona kwani wanajua uliolewa umeolewa. Si ukatoa you're not married. Only there are people here who are not married and they are pregnant. Nikamwambia but now mimi nilishawaambia niko married sasa kuna vile nitajitoa. Akaniambia you go and tell them you're not married.
He really doesn't want to use this job.
How it kind of makes sense. Nikamwambia sasa finally ikabidi tu nimwambie hapana. Unafaa uende upimwe HIV. Unasema siku hizi lazima couples wapimwe HIV kwa sababu cases za HIV zina rise. Akaniambia me I'm fine, me I'm not positive. Nikamwambia lazima tuende tupime wote. Akakataa. And you know the more anakataa the more being convinced this guy knows he's positive na hataki. So mimi nikasema I will not waste time hata mimi nijipeleke VCT for the sake of my pregnancy. So nikajipeleka VCT and by the time I was going for the VCT nilikuwa nishapatana na best yangu mwingine alikuwa shanifanyia counseling. So already nilikuwa nisha accept kila kitu. The bitterness, everything was not there.
That is after that you went for some
after
counseling.
That a friend of mine came to visit and I think God alimleta tu. Akakuja akanipata nimejifungia tu betu mimi kulianga tu na kitabu yangu nikiangalia. No, hiyo kitabu ya clinic penye ilitikiwa reactive. So I was looking at it and crying like a child. So she came and she found me locked up in my room and I was crying. And then she was like, why are you crying? So she was my best friend. So I opened up nikamwambia. Akaangalia na akaniambia kiwacha kulia. This is nothing to cry about. Akaniambia, do you know I'm also positive? Nikadhani anatumia tu hiyo njia kuni calm down.
Kukusedate.
So I'm like
wants to sedate you.
So I'm thinking no, it can't be. So akachukua handbag na akatoa clinic card yake ya VCT penye anachukuanga madawa na akatoa hadi dawa akanionyesha. Naona hizi ni ARVs and I've been taking these ARVs for the past 4 years. Sijai kuambia but maybe God wanted me to tell you at this time. And she's been my friend for 3 years but I've never known she's on ARVs. So she told me herself.
At this time wewe ulikuwa ushaanza kuchukua?
Bado hata sikuwa nimejikubali. Bado ndo nilikuwa nimetoka usi bado. I'm still in denial. So she took me through counseling in the proper one. So by the time nilikuwa naenda visit
alikuwa counselor ama just
no, just a friend. Just a friend. And you know she was a very close friend of mine. in that hata venye alikuwa shaniongelesha nilianza kufeel I'm not alone in this, at least I'm with her, at least nikiwa naishi nitakuwa namuuliza. So yeye ndo alinipeleka VCT. Na by the time tulifika huko mimi nilikuwa nisha accept kila kitu. Alikuwa ameniambia hata akikwambia results zikwaje, you just accept it, it's normal, you live a normal life. Utafanya tu wenye daktari atakwambia. And I was like
by the way, which year is that?
That was in 2019.
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Okay.
So we went and nikafanywa hizo tests, zikakonfirmiwa zote, several of them zikaturn positive. And nikaanzishwa medication. So I told them my husband amekataa kuwa tested and I don't know what to do. And they told me don't worry, sisi ni VCT na tunajua kuhandle cases kama hizo. He's not the first one. He will bring himself here. Don't worry. And I'm like, which husband? Mine, the one I know. Watu wakiwa wanasema nini? Now even there, I don't know what those people told my husband. I have no idea. Kwa sababu alipea pressure. Hadi wakamwambia, okay, if you don't come, we will come in your house. And if you will not allow us in your house, we will come at your place of work. You must get tested. And I think your pressure ilikuwa too much on him mpaka akajipeleka usiku saa 2. And you know it is a government facility, but they waited for him until 8 akitoka kazini wakampima.
I can see the patience with them.
Imagine, but me, I'm very grateful to that facility. And that is still where I go up to today. And I love them, and I know they've really supported me until now, and I thank God for them. So akaenda wakampima and they called me and they told me, hey Nancy, your husband is negative. What? And so my husband comes home and anakuja amefurahi, ulikuwa unanipea pressure hapa, unataka hizo results zako tunaona ziko sawa. And I'm like, what? So where did I get this thing from? So I remember that time ule daktari alikuwa amenihudumia, alikuwa ananiambia, please for now don't tell your husband about your status, at least ngojea mpaka ujifungue. Itakupatia stress, especially right now uko na boy. Ita affect mtoi. Nikamuuliza, we unamaanisha ninyamaze mpaka ile siku nitazaa, alafu hizi dawa nitakuwa na mezaji na mezea wapi kwanza? Ndio maana najificha mimi, sinaga hiyo kujificha sijui. Me, I told myself, if this guy comes home tonight, I will tell him hata kama atakuwa ameenda kupima. According to nilikuwa nisha make up my mind. Nikasema hata kama atakuwa ameenda kupima, nitamwambia my results. So when alikuja na results, I will tell him. So I told him. Nikamwambia, okay, wewe ulipima ukapata negative, but mimi nilipima zangu zimekuwa positive. So akaniangalia kusema kitu. Akaniangalia then akasimama na akaenda bedroom na akafunga mlango. Nikaachwa nimejikalisha hapo. And now I'm thinking when he comes back what will I do? So ameenda bedroom. Ameniacha hapo. So me I'm thinking jamaa akikuja ataniambia tu now you explain yourself. Umetoa wapi hiyo kitu? Na hata before ni explain naanza tu kuimagine venye nishafukuzwa. But then after some time akarudi akaniambia, lakini hizo results si ukweli. I think kuna mistake. Hakuna venye wewe unaweza kuwa positive na mimi niko negative. All this time we've been together. How?
For like
2 years.
2 years.
That's a long time.
Yes.
And you know, I think my husband alikuja tu kuni understand, because before I got involved with him, I told him my previous story. So I had explained to him what happened in my previous marriage as to why I left. So nilikuwa nishamwambia life story yangu yote mpaka penye nilikuwa nimefika. So I'm thinking alikuja na akakaa na akajijazia tu, kwa sababu he never accused me of cheating. Not even at one point. Apart from when he was drunk. So akakuja akaniambia, nikamwambia no, these results are true because hata dawa nishapatiwa. Nimetoka VCT wakafanya hizo confirmatory tests zote na nishapewa madawa ndio hizi. Naanza kuongeza kwa sababu ya mtoto. Akaniambia it's okay, if that is the case then haina shida. So long as ibaki tu between us. Mtu mwingine asijui. Kwetu mimi, wewe na Nora, that was my daughter. Sabie ndo alikuwa amejua kwanza tukiwa hosi. Hiyo ukuta hii story sipite nje ya hii ukuta.
Mungu katoto kataenda kusema
Ako
ama she was very responsible.
She was very responsible.
Yeah.
So I was very sure that one cannot even talk about it. So me, I was happy, at least now my husband knows. Nikafilio burden imeniondokea. So I will not have to hide. I will not have to explain myself. Why am I going to a clinic ya VCT? Niko na VCT, mbona siendi clinic Kenya alikuwa ameniambia niendange. You know, so I didn't have to explain myself much. Nilimwambia tu sasa sitakuwa naenda hii hospitali, nitakuwa naenda hii kwa sababu ya the kind of condition I'm in. But unaona kama singemwambia ningekuwa najificha na angekuja kujua juu maybe angeniambia siku moja leo acha nikupeleke clinic. So tunaenda clinic alafu tunajipata you know. So I felt relieved kwa sababu sasa singekuwa na stress ya kushinda nimejificha. But now things did not work out as we had agreed they should work out. And I feel kuna time my husband, okay, not kuna time, my husband alianza go through something in the head, like maybe denial, maybe he was still in denial. Hapo ana believe I'm positive. So alianza act very weird. So alianza kukunywa proper. Alikuwa analewa Monday to Monday. Na akilewa sasa nasi hana amani.
Na bado leo kina alikuwa anaenda job.
Yeah, bado alikuwa tu anaenda job, but akitoka job ana make sure amepiga register kwa bar. Ataenda alewe vizuri. Na akishalewa atakuja hiyo masaa 9 asubuhi aanze makelele. Na ataanza matusi serious. Like anaweza tu anza kushout from the gate. Wewe watu wa HIV. You know?
You were in Nairobi?
Yes. I was actually here. Yeah? Watu wa HIV mwamkeni. Kunywa madawa mnajiita hapa mapasta. Mnaenda mnalala huko na makondo, mnaambukizana ukimwi alafu mnakuja mnataka kuambukiza mabwana zenu. Lakini Mungu ni nani haijishiki?
Watu wa plot ama
watu wa plot washaamka. You know, they want to hear the story. Kwanza ya ukimwi. Nani hataki story kama hiyo? That is a very juicy story. So all of them are awake and now they
mlevi unaweza assume, people can assume.
People can assume. Unajua amelewa sasa akili yake. Okay, mimi ndio niko affected. I'm like, now these people wanachukulia kitu serious ama wanaonekana mlevi. But sasa yeye hataki kujua, atatukanana the entire night. Then 6 in the morning ataenda okay. At the job. Where then I'm left with now the neighbors to deal with. And I remember there was a time nilikuwa nimeanika nguo kwa kamba ya jirani. Nilipata amefanya tu
Masongesha.
Na venye aliniona akasema mimi sitaki watu wananikie nguo za virusi kwa kamba tafadhali. Kila mtu anike nguo zake wapi? Kwake. And I'm thinking, so these people wanasikiaga na wana believe. Oh my God. So nikaenda kwa duka tena siku nyingine nikapata tu house girls tumekaa kwa stairs. Wanaambia toka ndugu mama wengine wanapita. And I was very stigmatized. I felt like I am alone. Like niliona ni kama kila mtu anani avoid. Ile yenye hata nikienda kwa duka hata kama mtu aniongei, nikiangalia tu nione ananiangalia naona huyu lazima aniseme. So nika feel I'm not going to talk about this thing again. Mimi nitajitoa tu, sitakuwa natoka nje. So nikawa najifungia ndani kwa nyumba.
Such a stigma.
Na ukumbuke niko na boy. So nikawa najifungia ndani kwa nyumba, sitaki kutoka, sitaki kuongea na mtu juu sitaki watu waniseme. I feel like I'm alone. And that time my mom pia haniongeleshi kwa sababu pia alifind out I'm positive and she's like, my biological mom. So she doesn't want to have anything to do with me. So I'm just alone with one sister mwenye amesimama na mimi. So I'm thinking, mimi niko tu peke yangu hii dunia. What do I do? So nikakaa nikaenda kwa my bishop, nikaambia bishop wangu what I'm going through. Na nikiwa kwa hiyo harakati ya kupitia hizo vitu zinapitia, nikakuja nikakuwa na very funny vision. It was a vision. Nikajiona ni kama nimesimama mbele ya nilijiona place and like an open ground. Like you remember how Uhuru Park used to be like place ya crusade kitambo. So nilijiona niko in a place like Uhuru Park, like just an empty field. And then ilikuwa na watu wengi sana. But now these people were women. They were there were women, there were men. Okay, kulikuwa na wanaume but tulikuwa wachache, so wanawake ndio walikuwa wengi na hiyo uwanja ilikuwa kubwa, and I saw as if I was standing in front of them and I was talking to them. I couldn't hear what I was telling them, but nilikuwa naongelesha, and most of them were crying, so I was trying to reach to them na nikiwa embrace, but sikuwa nasikia na kenye nawaambia. So nikaenda nikamwambia bishop hiyo vision, akaniambia that vision ni kama kuna kitu God anakuambia he wants you to be a leader to some maybe women, anataka lead a particular kind of people, a particular kind of way, but he will confirm to you. So siku nyingine tena nikakuja nikakuwa na the same vision, but now this time najiona sasa siko kwa hiyo field, niko church. I'm not preaching as normal. I'm telling people about my status. So I'm like, tena nikarudi kwa bishop, okay, you mean God anataka nikwe public? Nitoke niambie watu status yangu. Okay, iwasaidie na nini?
And this time you were an evangelist?
Yeah, like, I was an evangelist.
Yeah.
I was still an evangelist. I was actually ndo nilikuwa nimekuwa ordained to be an evangelist. But sasa sikuwa that rooted into evangelism. Sababu ndo nilikuwa tu ordained. So I was still learning the procedures and everything. I was still even in class. So, nikaenda nikamwambia bishop, kwani God anataka nitoke niambie watu, okay, iwasaidie nani? Ndio wanichekelee vizuri. Kama sasa hivi wanajua na wananitusi. Sasa nikisimama hapa niambie watu, ndio sasa nitakuwa nafanya nini? Now God can be very wicked kama anataka nifanye kitu kama hiyo. But my bishop was like, no, God is not wicked. God anajua kitu anakuambia. So I feel God anataka utoke kama si kutoka public like hivyo vile umeona, maybe anataka mtu akikuja kwako atakuwa anatuma watu wako positive kwako, then you talk to them one on one, then kwa hiyo harakati ya kumwambia one on one ndio sasa unamwambia status yako, encourage and like, that is better. Lakini ya kusimama kumwambia inao mimi siwezi fanya. But akaniambia, you know, Nancy, if God wants you to do this thing, He will do it the way He wants you to do it. Then I said, I will do it, but I will not go public. According to what I was thinking at that time. But the more nilikuwa nakataa kutoka public, the more God alikuwa anatumia my husband kunifrustrate. Ingefika tu time akatai sasa ni chakula hanunui. And remember, I'm pregnant, I'm on ARVs, and I don't have food. So, no, I'm not working, I'm a housewife. So niye nategemea na hani provide na si ati hawezi akonayo lakini hataki. So ikafika point nikakonda. Okay, mimi nakuanga naturally slim, but ilifika time sasa nikakonda. And I got to a point mpaka nikaanza kuishi my grandmother was alive, kwa sababu at this time even my mother does not want to have anything to do with me. So I'm thinking, shushu yangu angekuwa hai, naanza kukumbuka venye alikuwa anakujanga kuona my mama anakuja na chakula, anakuja na vitu. So I'm thinking, oi, si angekuwa ananiletea na kula, lakini alisha pass. So I'm like, now what kind of a life is this? So nikiachana na stress ya my husband akitulia kidogo, my mama anaanza vita sasa. My mama atalipuka, ongea, mtakuja tukwambiwanga tu tukiongelea. Vita ni uma. My mama akitulia church nao ianze. Nisikie tu members wali decide sasa kunikalia kikundi. Ongea. Sasa zitakuja tena zinigonge. Then nikafika point nikaenda nikapray nikamwambia God, hizi vitu zinanifanyikia juu nakataa ama ni nini? But God alikuwa anashinda akinijibu na the book of Jonah. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa ina run kwa masikio yangu.
That is what the question I was coming to.
And I said, let me read about Jonah. Then you understand kwa nini inashinda ikinikujia kwa mind. Then I read about the story of Jonah. And I looked at myself as being Jonah. I'm actually running away from where God is sending me.
Samaki takunyeza.
Hey, nali nimeza.
Kupeleka kwa church.
Kapusapike
huko.
Utaki kwenda na utaki kutumia barabara.
Tukanda
niambia tu tena. Okay, utaki kwenda na barabara. Okay.
Tatembea na maji.
Ndani. Na akafika. You know? So, mimi nikakuja nikapray nikamwambia God, so I'm actually building like Jonah, but God, me, I don't have the courage to do this. I don't have that courage. What about my in-laws? What about my friends? What about the people who don't know in church? Now how will it be? What about my relation? What about my reputation? There are so many things.
And you don't want to despair and say, now I'm to suicide.
No. But I thank God because suicide never ran in my mind. It's never ran in my mind during that time. Me, I'm just thinking, me, I can live with this virus, but I can't tell anyone else. Wacha watu wenye wanajua wajue, lakini mimi mwenyewe niseme na mdomo yangu hapana. So the more nakataa, the more vitu zinainuka. So I remember the last incident that happened with my husband. My husband alikuja tu mlevi kama kawa, akaenda akachukua besheni ya mtoto kuoga, kaibeba kwa kichwa, akaniambia, "We, unaona vile natembea na hii besheni? Unaona vizuri? Angalia, unaona vizuri?" Nikamwambia, "Naona." Hivi ndio utakuwa nimebeba jeneza yako ile siku utakufa.
Alikuwa mlevi.
Kwa mlevi. Hivi ndio siku nitabeba, hivi ndio utabeba jeneza yako ile siku utakuwa umekufa. And I will be singing Luere, Luere, Luere. Na nichukua hii sanduku na nirushe.
It's a
funeral song.
Hallelujah funeral song.
Hallelujah funeral song. Na nitaichukua nirushe.
I have a lot of friends, Luya friends, I know they will like the song. I'll ask them what is it.
Yeah, well, listen to Luere inamaanisha nini, God. They will tell you.
Yeah.